I'm actually really enjoying doing this prop making stuff. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm the Viking, and this time we're starting off inside the car because I am waiting for my physiotherapy appointment. Hopefully it's my last one for a while. They're going to go over the stuff in my hand, the shoulder and the back, hopefully. See the progress that's been made, make any suggestions or changes to try and improve it a little bit more, if at all possible. I feel like the last couple of weeks I've kind of stagnated as to what I've been doing and what I've been talking about. So this week I'm going to try and mix things up as much as possible. I've bought some stuff that I want to show off and I want to experiment with. I've got a few ideas of things that I can do this week and show people. But yeah, for the time being, it's just sort of me and my thoughts while I wait for my appointment, because I am currently 20 minutes early. So yeah, that's the thing. Right, suppose I should go and wait in the waiting room. So the physiotherapist has essentially said that I've improved more than anybody ever expected me to, and they're amazed how much weight I've lost and how much more flexibility I've got in my back. My shoulder's pretty much back to normal and my hand's as good as it's going to get. So they've essentially signed me off, which is a win. So, as I said the other week, I want to do some more LARP related stuff, more costuming related stuff, specifically with the post-apocalyptic LARP. So, interspersed with last week's video, I made this, which is my little Wasteland Survival Guide. I downloaded a printable version of Fallout 3's Wasteland Survival Guide, printed off the covers and attached it to a notepad, so that's got a load of stuff in it. I've got all sorts of random odds and ends, spent shotgun shells that I can do stuff with, random bits of webbing, fabrics, leathers, glue gun. I've also got this, which is a grenade. It's actually this one. You unscrew the top and it is used for filling up airsoft magazines with gas, which is kind of cool. And I've also got this one, which is a spent six-bang distraction grenade. And essentially this one, if you take the top off, it has a spring-loaded striker, which is just underneath there. So when the spoon flies off, that striker spins round, hits the charge, which is a 1 second delay on this particular one. Which then sets off the bangs, which go out from underneath. Not quite decided what to do with this one. It weighs an absolute ton. I've been using it as a paperweight. I've had it about 5 or 6 years. So I'm not sure whether I'm just going to leave it as a paperweight or whether I try and take the inside of it out and turn it into a distraction device. I'm not entirely sure. What else have I got to do this week? Oh yeah! Charity shops. I went to the charity shops. There was nothing really in, but fortunately I filled one of my military bags with junk out of the barns, so I will see what I can make out of them. What else have I got? Oh yeah, LARP weaponry. So I've got loads of airsoft guns and I've got medieval LARP weapons, but I don't have anything sort of new, modern-y type stuff, so I've printed off a few of these patterns I found online. If I can remember where I got them from, I will put a link down below, but I'm not making any promises. And I've got some EVA foam, some floor mats, so I'm going to try and make some weaponry. Oh, apparently I'm also going to get a dog. What's up, dog? You want to go to bed? Is that it? You want to go to bed? You sleepy puppy? Oh yeah. Oh, tough. But in addition to that, I've also purchased myself an airbrush starter kit. So Airbrushing is one of those things that I've always sort of avoided when it comes to costuming and making things and doing models and things like that, because it's kind of intimidating. But I figured, why not give it a shot? What's the worst that can happen? So I've got that to try out as well. Oh, and the other thing, guitar strings. At some point this week I need to restring my guitar, or one of my guitars. I've got 6 that could all do with restringing, but the main one I'm using at the moment needs restringing because one of the strings has snapped. So I need to do that at some point as well. So this evening I'm going to cut this template out. I've got another template for a knife that I want to cut out. Once they're cut out, I've got some stuff to do with the shotgun shells and some hot glue, which could get interesting, which I want to try. And then tomorrow I'm probably going to restring the guitars and maybe see if I can find somewhere to go for a bit of an urbex. I had a scoot around earlier today after physio, but unfortunately the place that I went to was not really accessible and under quite a lot of CCTV, which means that it wasn't going to happen. But I'll see what I can find.
24 hours later.
I really wanted to try and go out a bit more this week. The weather's been really nice, so I've wanted to go and do things and partake in my hobbies, partake in, you know, filming and photography. So the 3 places that I've been this week to do that have been Llangollen, which is just over the mountain behind my house. It's about a 10-minute drive, but when it's been wet and then dry, the River Dee goes through the middle of the town, gets really, really fast, gets really, really high, and looks really, really pretty. I've also been to Bettycoed, took some photos of the river down there as well, which is gorgeous. And I've also been to Norton Priory, which is a old ruined religious spot out near Runcorn in northern England. And I got some really nice footage there as well. I got some really cool photos, which was good because I really want to work on my photography this year. It's something that I've been focused on, and I think I'm starting to get a little bit better at it. So yeah, let's have a look at all that. Been a bit of an interesting week, not gonna lie. There's a lot happened that I wasn't fully expecting to happen, and not all of it was terrible. Was it a perfect week? No, but then again, there's no real such thing as a perfect week. There are good weeks and bad weeks and great weeks, but I don't think the perfect week will ever exist for anyone. But this week was pretty good. So now all that's left to do for me really is restring this guitar. This is my personal method of restringing a guitar. I am by no means an expert, but I have been playing guitar for coming on the better part of 16, 17 years. I've worked in a guitar shop, so I kind of know what I'm doing. This is what I basically use as a no-cut string method of doing things. So one of the biggest problems with restringing a guitar is when you cut the strings, they all snap backwards and then you end up with loads of string bits all over the place, whereas doing it this way, loosening them off, means that you don't have loads of sharp bits of string lying about all over the place. Plus it's easier to keep track of what you've done and where you're up to. So one of the keys with restringing your guitar is to clean the damn thing while you're restringing it. Any idiot can throw some strings on a guitar. It's not hard, it's not difficult, but making sure that it's done right and that the guitar's in a good condition for when you start playing again, that's where the skill lies. Always do your initial dust with a dry cloth. If you do it with a wet cloth, dead skin sticks to everything and you never get anything clean. So first initial clean is with a dry cloth, just gets the worst of the dust up, makes everything a little bit easier to work with. Check for any overly loose components. It's all good. Happy days. So once you've done that initial dust, you can go into more depth then and start looking into any muck that's in the neck. You can start looking at any grime that's sitting on your frets. So look, some people will say that you need to oil the neck. Personally, I don't do that very often, and the reason that I don't oil the neck very often is A, I'm lazy, B, I don't think it makes that big a difference to the overall playing of the guitar, and C, the oil for fretboards, good oil anyway, is kind of pricey and I'm broke as a joke, so that won't happen. Thought it was. Okay. Time to give it a damn good cleaning. As you're cleaning your fretboard, you want to use something soft like a pick. Don't use a sharp knife or wire wool, because you'll just scratch the fretboard and make it look terrible. As you put the strings on and tighten them up, most people will either just let the string loop under itself or over itself on the tuning peg. What you actually want to do is use an over-under pattern. The reason you want to do this is it locks the string onto the tuning peg and it actually helps keep tuning stability over the length of the life of the string, rather than it slipping out of tuning as you play. You'll also notice that as I'm tuning this up, I'm holding the string up with my right hand. The reason I do that is it helps me keep consistency on the peg between each wind of the string, which also helps keep stability and also helps lengthen the life of the string. It's less likely to snap at the top. And that's pretty much how you restring a guitar. It's not the most difficult thing in the world. The one bit I haven't shown me doing is tuning the guitar, and that's because I use an app on my phone. It's the Boss Guitar Tuner app. It's brilliant. It essentially emulates their tuner pedal and it's completely free, which is always a good thing. Go through and tune all your strings as you normally would. Just be a little bit more careful, especially towards the higher strings. If you go a bit mad, they will snap because they're fresh on and they've not been stretched. Then once you've tuned all your strings, go back to the low E and tune them again. The reason you do that is as you tune the guitar, there's more tension being pulled through the neck. It's a surprising amount of tension. You know, anywhere from 7-ish kilos on the high E to 12, nearly 13 kilos on your D and G strings. It's always surprises people just how much tension goes through the guitar neck. But that's pretty much all you've got to do. The one thing I will say is make sure that you snip all these off. Some people will wrap them down tight into coils. Personally, I hate that. I think it looks bloody awful and it's lazy. So all you do is you take your nippers and making sure that you don't cut the actual string, and you want to keep that cut straight, because if you cut at an angle, what happens is you end up with a spike and you will stab yourself. Normally I will end up stabbing my finger at least 3 or 4 times when I'm restringing a guitar and I bleed everywhere, but today I've managed to do it without stabbing myself, which is a win. It's really pretty simple to restring a guitar. It's not as daunting as most people seem to think it is. It took me about 20 minutes all in all, including the cleaning down and the filming, but I've restrung a lot of guitars over the years, so I'm reasonably quick at it these days. It's also worth remembering that the first few times you play your guitar after you've restrung it, it's going to drop its tuning, sometimes quite badly. The reason being is that the strings are still stretching out, so they're going to lose their tuning. Once you've played it for a little bit, tuned it up a few times, it'll hold steady, especially if you lock it off at the machine heads when you're restringing it using that under-over method I talked about. So I guess the only thing left to do now really is play it, see how it sounds. They call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. God knows I'm one. My mother was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans. My father was a gambler down in New Orleans. Now, mother, tell your children not to do as I have done and spend their life in faithless misery in the house of the rising sun. They call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. God knows I'm one. As always, guys, if you're liking what you see, make sure you hit the subscribe and like buttons. Lets me know I'm on the right track. And if you've got any questions or comments, make sure you leave them down below. I'll try and answer any questions you've got about guitars or bikes or mental health issues or, you know, how my diet's going or whatever else you really want to ask, as long as it's not too daft. But for now, I've been the Biking Viking. As always, you've been awesome. I'll see you next time.
What the